Hi, I'm Claudine, joining you from Mildred's Big City Food and Bluegill Quality Food to talk today a little bit about the history behind an old-fashioned, how to make the cocktail, and a little bit of science to go along with it. So starting out, we have our spirits here. You can make a selection based upon your own preferences. We can use a rye, bourbon, or one of my personal favorites, this is a port-finished whiskey, so that means it's been aged in port barrels. Adds a little complexity to the flavor. So we're going to use this today, but if you prefer, say, a lighter, spicier cocktail, I might use a rye, or if you like something a little sweeter, a bourbon would go well also. Today we're using a chilled glass mixer. The reason this is chilled is because when we're chilling our cocktail, we want to make sure that we use something with a low heat capacity. So that means essentially how much of the chill is your mixing container going to absorb from the cocktail. Glass has a pretty high heat capacity, so that means it would absorb a lot of the cold out of the cocktail and might result in over dilution. However, the chill on this glass helps mitigate that. Another option to use is a metal shaker, which is going to have a little bit of a lower heat capacity than glass. However, for our demonstration purposes, we're going to use glass so you guys can see what's going on. So we have our jigger here. This is a 1 ounce, ½ ounce jigger. And you can use, 2 to 3 ounces depending upon how strong you want your cocktail. We're going to do 3. At this point, we're also going to add just a little splash of triple sec. And this is something that I like to do. Not everyone does this. It adds just like a hint of orange flavor. So we're going to do about ½ an ounce of that. Traditional component of the old-fashioned is also going to be cherry. So we have here a couple of Amarena cherries. These are this fancy Luxardo style, so you can also use Luxardo brand or any other brand that's kind of like a dark candied cherry style. We're going to add about 1 bar spoon, so ounce-wise, if you're measuring it, that's going to be about 1/4 of an ounce. We're also going to just add a splash of simple syrup, very tiny drop to balance everything out and bring our sweetness up to par. The other essential component of an old-fashioned is bitters. So when making an old-fashioned, I always like to use Angostura. We use a couple dashes of that. Very traditionally as well, you're also going to use some orange bitters. Reagan's orange bitters, I think, have a great balance, but you can also use the Angostura orange or Fee Brothers orange or whatever other orange bitters you have on hand. So a couple drops of that as well. These are notoriously hard to measure, but if you just do a couple light shakes, you'll be in good order. At this point, we can also alter our old-fashioned a little bit by adding some fun bitters. So some options that I have on hand are sassafras bitters, if you want to have something taste a little more like root beery. Black walnut bitters, these are nice, add like a complex nutty undertone. Or if you like something funky, spicy, and fun, there's these Bitterman's Hocolatl Mole bitters. These always taste really great in an old-fashioned too. I think I'm going to add these to this one today. Or if you like a plain old-fashioned, forget those and stick with Old Faithful. So it's really important in the technique of this cocktail that we don't shake it. So when we add our ice, we're going to add about 1 scoop, just enough to fully cover the cocktail and make sure we have some good chilling going on. So we'll take our bar spoon and stir very lightly. So the point of stirring is so that we don't integrate any more air into the cocktail. When we shake a cocktail, we inherently force air into it, making it a little lighter, fluffier texture. We break up the ice. That's good when you have fruit juices in a cocktail. It really helps integrate the flavors. However, with a spirit-forward cocktail, we're going to want to make sure that we have a nice silky texture at the end. We haven't integrated any extra air, and we also don't want to over-dilute it because we don't want the spirit to lose any of its complexity through dilution. All right, so we're just about ready to enjoy our drink. Strain it into an old-fashioned glass. If you're at home, you might have some fancy ice cubes, maybe a big square or a sphere. You can, at this point, drop one of those in. That'll kind of lengthen the amount of time you have to enjoy your cocktail. It'll prevent it from diluting too quickly. Or if you don't, regular ice works just as well. The finishing touch is really important. We have this orange here. So we're going to take our bar knife and just slice off the top a little bit here. And you get that really great smell coming out of the pith of the orange. We're going to just bend the peel over the top of the drink, and maybe you can see here we have a lot of zest coming out of that. Wipe it around the edge so you get a nice aroma. And this is going to be our garnish here. If you like a cherry on top, go ahead and add one of those now. And you're ready to enjoy your drink.